We'll begin in Central Florida, where prayer in schools has been a hot-button issue for decades. The controversy is at the forefront once again with Orange County Public Schools' decision to ban chaplains and prohibit staff members from leading prayer at sporting events. Tiffany Green has been following the story and tells us how the recent decision is affecting student athletes, teams, and the entire community.
You ready to take this thing?
Yes, sir.
You ready to take this thing?
Yes, sir.
Let's get in the tunnel.
In the 25 years that Rick Darlington has been a football coach, he's always been able to pray with his players.
I think that when we would pray with our young men in the past, they know we care about them.
It's a practice he's proud of, but will now have to change. Back in March, the Freedom from Religion Foundation, or FFRF, sent a 14-page complaint to Orange County Public Schools that specifically cited the Apopka High School football program for what the FFRF called illegal religious activities. The grievances were brought forth to the school district, which included the school's involvement with the Venue Church, which meets on Apopka's campus, the use of a chaplain, coach-led prayer, and biblical references on signage around school and on apparel. The FFRF said it was a violation of the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment.
These kids signed up to play a sport at a public school. They did not sign on to follow the religion of their coach or the religion of another teammate, which may just be the most vocal on the team.
A lot of this started back in the spring when this group, decided that what we were doing was wrong. And there are a few things that that we were doing that really are against the law when you look at it to the letter of the law, and that needed to be changed.
At the start of the school year, the OCPS legal department issued a memo stating that team chaplains were no longer allowed and that staff-led prayer was prohibited based on previous court opinions.
This group comes in, they throw their punch, and then they leave and leave it up to the school board to make a decision as to what they're going to do.
We get complaints or questions about potential state church violations weekly from citizens in the community. Often our members report them.
David Williamson started a local chapter of the Wisconsin-based Freedom from Religion Foundation 2 years ago. His group of more than 200 joins 21,000 members nationally. Williamson didn't give a specific number of complaints he's received, but says he's pleased with the school district's response.
What the school board has done, in fact, in enforcing the law is restored the right to pray to who it belongs, to the students. They've taken that away from the coaches, away from the chaplain, and restored it to the students.
It's a decision that Darlington will abide by, even though it is in direct conflict with his personal beliefs.
It's been for a while, the rules were the coaches couldn't lead the prayer, but the difference is to say that we can't participate in the prayer. That's where we're uncomfortable.
Some parents agree.
I'm so done with this whole movement of pushing God out of our society and out of these kids' lives. They need that more than anything right now.
Yeah, this is about the kids. This isn't about prayer and not prayer. This is what the kids believe in, so I feel like the kids should be able to pray.
In his 13th season as the Apopka head football coach, Darlington has experienced success on the field, winning 2 state titles. But he's more proud of how he builds men of character.
Our young men, for the last 25 years I've been involved with it, to a man, have all said it was one of the things they enjoyed most about our program and the reason it was different.
Lord, the battles we go through in life.
The district's decision didn't just affect Apopka High School, but all public schools in Orange County. And like Darlington, there are several coaches and players who are Christians. Oak Ridge's Jonathan Jones and Timber Creek's Sam Monarch both say prayer plays a big role in their life, and oftentimes they lead their teams in prayer.
It's not necessarily that, the coaches are necessarily there every time we pray, but for them to make a law or a mandate stating that they cannot be there, I just didn't understand why it was a big of an issue, or why would even something like that come up.
After that meeting when the coaches were not now allowed to pray with us, I was like, whoa, do they just not care enough? And then he kind of explained to us, no, we can't do this legally. They could lose their jobs.
Williamson admits that prayer can be beneficial, but that group prayer can have both positive and negative effects.
When a child is on a team, that child's coach has the authority to decide whether they will play, how much they will play, and when that coach endorses a religion or chooses a religion or endorses a prayer by a chaplain, it is nearly impossible for someone to bow out of that and say, I don't wish to participate in it.
Oak Ridge head coach Elijah Williams said in his 11 years of coaching, he's never had a player tell him that they didn't feel comfortable with the team praying.
There are some people that don't agree with the Pledge of Allegiance, but they still stand out of respect. They stand. They might not say the pledge. They might not put their hand over their heart, but they still stand out of respect. I think prayer is the same thing.
You know, if they don't want to be a part of it, okay, you don't have to be a part of it. You'll still be our brother. You know, we'll still love them whether or not.
I don't understand the effect of group prayer. Not being a believer in God, I don't appreciate that moment the same way other people do. But as we discuss in other venues, a moment of silence, an opportunity to stop and gather your thoughts, a moment of meditation, those are very appropriate for everyone.
I guess we can't pray with them, but we can certainly pray for them, and we'll continue to do that. That, you know, God will shape our team and our young men on it to make an impact at the school and beyond.
There are several school districts across the country embroiled in the same controversy. Recently, Seminole County Public Schools received a complaint from the FFRF about a football prayer huddle after a player was injured at a Sanford Seminole High game. It was later determined legal because it was student-led. As for Apopka, the community responded to Orange County's decision with a sign of unity. Nearly 1,000 players, parents, fans, and students covered the field after the game for prayer. Since then, the Blue Darters football team has adopted it in its pregame.
And I believe that, you know, God can use this for good and to make it, you know, something to, you know, make him famous is what we're trying to do as Christians anyways.
There are differing philosophies on what role prayer plays at a football game or in a public school setting, but both agree that it's good to empower the student athlete to take action into their own hands. In Orange County, Tiffany Green, Bright House Sports Network.
And now Tiffany joins us from our Orlando studios. Tiffany, obviously a very emotional story for a lot of people. We see this happen with high schools all over the place. Why do you think Apopka was really singled out here?
I think because they're one of the more successful teams in the state of Florida. They played on national television last year when they traveled up to South Carolina. Their program was exposed. Everyone could see it. And the FFRF and organizations like them are not shy about saying that they monitor these situations very closely. And so they just happen to get a lot of attention. But of course, this is a practice that's been going on and really a tradition within sports and football for years and years and years.
And Tiffany, you traveled with that team last season when they went to South Carolina. What did you observe about the role religion and more specifically prayer played on that team?
Well, Coach Darlington is a man of faith, and he is not shy about sharing that. And many of the young men follow behind him, but I think they also carry that same belief as well. So when you watch them in their program, very disciplined, very mannerable, very respectful. And I think they used their religion, their beliefs, their value system to not only show the type of young men that they were on, but also off the field. And it's been a cornerstone of Rick Darlington's programs for as long as he's been coaching, something he's very proud of. And honestly, the young men behind him have really followed, and it's been good for them.
All right, Tiffany, very interesting story. We thank you so much.